Want to turn your passion for drawing into a full-time career? Discover our courses at Brushcamp where you become a master in the realm of digital painting. Brushcamp offers tons of similar courses in illustration, 2D, 3D design. Level up your creativity with free knowledge and courses. Visit brushcamp.com today and explore endless possibilities.
I will introduce you to the concept of the three-point perspective. Three-point perspective. Three-point perspective we understand roughly. That's the perspective of 2 point plus 1 point below or above for a special perspective effect. That means we will still have 2 points on both sides like this. But we have one more point at the bottom to create 1 degree of suction for objects. As you can see here, the height edges are all attracted to 1 point. It all attracts to 1 point. I will lower this opacity. Opacity is the density of the layer. I will click on the layer. Look at this place. You will see this opacity. We increase or decrease it so that the picture becomes blurred or clear. 100% is the best. 0% is disappear. You choose like this. When you determine the point, I want you to reduce the opacity of each image. Lower the opacity to define the focal point like this. Use a crayon or whatever color is more prominent than the one above. You can see this is where the author has already finished. These pictures are mostly taken from the internet. Not the copyright of the center, guys. It's just an example without any commercial purpose. No commercial purpose at all. You will see the height of the object towards the 3rd point. In addition to the 2 point on both sides, as we learned in the 2 point perspective, the 3 point perspective will have a 3rd point located below or above the horizon. Why below or above? Because it will create a special perspective effect. We have 2 very clear examples about placing above or below. When we place the 3rd focal point above, we will have a worm view. It means that when the angle of view of a worm goes up, everything is huge and sucks up. And when placing the 3rd condenser at the bottom, we will have the concept of a bird's eye view, which means we see it all as small and sucked down. It all creates depth at the bottom. Looking here, we can see that it has formed a building, and our view is from above looking down. It's called a bird's eye view. These 2 terms are very commonly used. Later we build stories. Perspective. Need to proceed to the analysis of other paintings. This corner is the bird corner. Because we can separate one convergence point. It will be somewhere. How to select layers quickly. Press V. Look up in the corner, there is an auto select button. If that in the case off, this one doesn't activate. If you want to select any layer, hold and press V plus Ctrl. It will automatically find and automatically jump to that layer. And in case you are already available, you don't need to hold down like that anymore. Just click on any layer and it will jump to it. I'm used to holding Ctrl. When I select quick layers, I will hold Ctrl. You can do this to find your layer quickly. Later on, layer management will be more and more important. Now we will proceed to analyze this picture. I'll also lower the opacity of these pictures, since I'm going to analyze it anyway. Here is the bird's view. We can generalize where the point is located and connect these 2 points. And from there we also determine the horizon. The author has also made a very clear horizon here. I connected it again. We have identified 2 points. And we begin to connect the height line. We'll find a 3rd point. Somewhere. You want to refine this line of the pen tool. Press 5 and then hold Ctrl. Click on. Hold Ctrl. We will fine-tune the line of this pen tool. Pen tool is the tool that you should use the most proficiently, because it will help us a lot. We can see the third focal point lying all the way down here, lying out of the frame. It doesn't have to be in the picture frame. It creates a three-pointed picture with a bird's eye view, like this. So in what cases do people use this angle? It's when you want to show a scene that's universal. Covering and looking down from the side of the character usually will be applied in majestic scenery. The city is either standing from the top of the hill looking down, standing at the top of the building looking down. The scenes are inclusive, creating a feeling of vastness. Then we'll use the bird's eye view. Or we can also use this angle for a cinematic scene, like you want to show a terrible power, compared to a person standing in front of you. Then with that kind of perspective, you're as big as this, and the person in front of you is just so tiny. It will create the prestige of the main character, who is standing near the frame, and the small is the one who stands further away from the frame. It creates this contrast. This is one of the ways to tell stories in pictures or movies. I will introduce more details in the illustration section. And here we only need to distinguish 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point. The point is located on this, and these two lines will also create a point on either side. Just keep trying to reconnect. This exercise is similar to exercise 2, that is, you earn points on both sides. By 5 pictures. 5 pictures you can find. 5 pictures of 3 point that you found. 6 pictures. 3 pictures of worm's view. 3 pictures of bird's view. I mean the bird view, not the 3 bird pictures. You will have those 2 exercises included. Similar to the 1 point perspective, you still have to draw the box in space. That is, you make yourself to point. Both of these exercises we draw. Let me remember. Exercise 1 is what you have to do. You guys make yourself 5 boxes. As for the 2 point and 3 point perspective, for each perspective, you draw 5 boxes for yourself. I will also guide how to draw. You will draw your own horizon. I only guide to exercises 2 point and 3 point. Identify 2 point. Identify 2 point. This is point 1 and point 2. And we'll draw any geometry. Mostly squares or rectangles, it's up to you. Or even polygons. You can draw any geometry. Usually you should put these 2 points away, to make it easier to handle. I made it thick. Please try to use other colors when we describe and present. It will be a lot easier. Now I will connect these points. The points on the right side. You won't do that. You will not draw any geometry, which you will draw any height. Reconnect it. I'm a bit confused with 1 point. You put it back together. We've got 2 sides. We continue to define more thickness for this block. On the left side, define here. Since it is 2-point perspective, the height will be a line parallel to the edge of the cover. It's the same here. Reconnect it. So now we have two sides of the cube. We continue to connect this point to the second point. We give small brush size. And the next point with the second point. We have created a block with a 2-point view. And the concept of these 2 points is much more. It also splits the object below the horizon. We will see the top of that object. So the object is above. I will also draw a line like this. I connected it again with 2 points. I connected it the same way I did. I will make it thick. When I get the thickness, I will continue to join. And when reconnecting, it will automatically form a cut point for objects. Here we have seen more of the underside of that object. So what is the summary? Objects that are above the horizon. We will see the underside and vice versa. Objects are below the horizon. We will see the upper side. There will never be a concept of a box below the horizon. 2 point below but still visible above. So you are drawing wrong. You draw your homework as 5 boxes. You guys give me 5 different lines. It will have some more difficult geometry blocks, but with this sketching class, you should only focus on drawing the box to be the most accurate. I don't have to be perfectly square or rectangular. I only need 1 box. You guys estimate one size is just enough. Like this for easy viewing. 5 boxes. And next we will come to the exercise on 3-point perspective. The 3-point perspective is similar. To start, we still have to have a horizon. I make this point a little further away. It will be easier to handle. Identify 2 points. Here and here. And I'll draw a bird's eye view. Then we will also draw, but in the style of drawing any height line. But from the 3-point perspective. I will make an example for you. I will create it like this. If you want to create an object in the middle, this line should be the center line too. If you deviate like this, your house or lock will also be skewed to one side. If you want the front, let's draw the front first. We draw a height line first. We give the side thickness. We make this cut off, and it must depend on the capacitor on the right side. We connect, and the other side will depend on this side. It is up to you to determine whether the top of this block is above or below. Then we also have the same theory on the left side, the theory of the 2 sides of this point. That's when you determine the top is on the horizon. Then this block will not see the top. because it's already on the horizon. If you guys define it below, then you will see the top. I will give an example of seeing the top. Means below the horizon, pick any point and connect. Continue. We have seen the top of the box. It looks a bit messy. We're identifying a box here. If you don't draw this bottom edge, then the block will be infinitely deep. It will suck and disappear. And if you can figure it out, we will have a clearer box. I will redraw that block, as without too many grids. We will have one block. In case you want to draw this vertex all above this. I will continue. I use blue to represent it. Here. We should draw this line first. Draw the height in the center first. Let's make it high here, and connect. It's similar to the knowledge of how to draw a box in a two-point perspective. But this time we should pay attention to the height of the box. Depends on bottom point. We already have a gathering point below. This is a box when it is higher than the horizon. It won't see the top. And when you draw an object running below the horizon, running above the horizon, it will create an effect like this. It will suck up like this. At this angle you will see. It will be much more impressive compared to the two-point perspective, and the line from bottom to top is always parallel. This knowledge will be much applied to cinematic frames now. It's also approximate, but usually this three-point perspective creates more special effects for cinema. Then you will draw 5 blocks like this. In this third exercise, you will draw 5 blocks. You can make the block from below the horizon, rise above the horizon. It's okay here too. We should have chosen it a little at random. Connect it, according to the formulas I showed. Create yourself these 5 pictures. That's our homework this time. I will type it. Here's everything from lesson 2. It's the beginning. We have a lot of exercises, but please do them hard. We passed the first session, and we will be very excited to do the next sessions, because our hands are already flexible. Try to study this course within 1 month to 1.5 months. That is, let your inspiration continue. For 1 month to 1.5 months, don't keep the sessions too far apart. It's like if you haven't studied. You have to go back to the beginning to get inspiration and theory. And all practice. Try your best throughout the learning process. So please try to do your homework. Here is the full content of lesson 2. Thank you and wish you good health.
Please like and subscribe to our channel.